according to our rules. We cannot act according to what everyone wants us to do. We are guided by our rules, and our rules remains that if at any point we feel that the integrity, the dignity of the Parliament, has been threatened, has been scratched, we investigate through our internal structure in the eyes of principles of natural justice, which is ora partem, which is let both parties be heard, which is fair hearing. That is what we put in our rules. It is not good for us to judge, ahead of time and take rash decision. Therefore, in line with the prayers of the leader of the House, that this matter be referred to the Committee on Ethics and Privilege for him to be heard. His appeal was very emotional, very touching, shows remorse. I was touched hearing it from here, but that is not enough. I know you were touched as well. I know Nigerians watching him have seen a man that is remorseful, but our rules must be complied with. That our rule is that he should go and sit with our Committee on Ethics and Privileges. They will hear him and then report back to the House for us to take a decision. That is the ruling of the House. I'm being guided that the prayer of the leader need to be seconded. I need it to be seconded. Leader, please. Instead of going into suspension like everybody in Nigeria wants us to do, for us to apply our rules and the House rules. Those in support of this say aye. Those against say nay. Those in support that this goes to House Committee on Ethics and Privilege say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. Yes, the ayes have it. Matter is hereby referred to Committee on Ethics and Privilege to look at it and get back to us in 2 weeks. Meet him. Please allow him to be a member that he is. Thank you. Carried.
Mr. Speaker.
What is your point of order?
On point of personal explanation, pursuant to Order 8, Rule 6 of the House Standing Orders, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to rise and speak very briefly concerning the incident that took place on October 27th of 2024, involving myself and a citizen, Mr. Stephen Ikwechegh, an e-hailing cab driver. What began as a misunderstanding regrettably escalated into actions and remarks that do not reflect the values that I hold dear, nor those that I am.
Chairman CBN, you're having another parliament there.
As a member of the esteemed House, I deeply regret my words and actions that occurred at the heat of the moment, and I take full responsibility for how this exchange has impacted on the citizen, Mr. Ikwechegh, his family, and the entire public. I acknowledge that I am human, thus infallible. And in recognizing the significance of the role As a public servant, I am mindful of the weight of my words and actions and how they may have affected those that I represent. Since the incident, Citizen Abutsaya and I have engaged in alternative dispute resolution methods, and I am pleased to inform this Honorable House that we have reached a respectful and constructive resolution. Additionally, my sincere apologies to the leadership of the House, my honorable colleagues, and the entire National Assembly as a whole for any deficit of goodwill that this particular incident may have caused. I am aware that my actions reflect not only on myself, but also the esteemed institution, the trust that the public places in us. This experience has served as a humbling reminder of the need for restraint and self-control, particularly in challenging situations. Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues,
This your personal explanation looks like a lead debate. It's like an essay.
Mr. Speaker,
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I'm speaking. Mr. Speaker, am I protected, Mr. Speaker?
Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, this experience has been especially disheartening as it stands in the contrast to the positive strides that we have made in my constituency of Aba North and Aba South, particularly in the areas of health, education, and empowerment. Nevertheless, it serves as a teachable moment, Mr. Speaker, for all of us in public office that is held in high standards. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I just want to state once again that I am human. Even though there was things were said, and those things I regret. I apologize to all Nigerians. Regardless of the provocation, there should be no reason why I should react in that form. So I want to use this opportunity to appeal to all Nigerians. Let us let what has happened remain in the past, and let us forge forward. Thank you once again for giving me the opportunity to tender this apology, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you.
Representing the very good people of Ikorodu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, our elders always say that the day we stop learning is the day we die. They also say that we learn from mistakes and not from successes. However, the Parliament is one of the most hated institutions in Nigeria today. We are bashed morning, afternoon, and night, despite the fact that most of us have very noble intentions for the people of Nigeria. We should always be guided and also know that we are not an authority over Nigerians. Nigerians have authority over us. They must be treated with dignity, with respect, and with kindness at all times. So if we imbibe this collectively, Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Faleke.
we will begin and continue to launder that heavily battered image, the garments that which we all wear. So accordingly, Mr. Speaker, I rest my case on these few points. Thank you very much.
Services Committee and the Facility Management Department to resolve the problems. That too, there will be total power outage between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. today, as there will be some work to be done on the transformer. Number 3, that we regret any inconveniences this might have caused. This is announced by Chairman House Services Committee, Honorable Daniel Amos. The next announcement is that this is to remind members of the House Committee on Constitution Review.
Order, please. Honorable colleagues, please return to your seat, please. Bob.
We have said people should not disturb Honorable Abubakar while he's sitting. Please, you should respect that, please. This is to remind members of House Committee on Constitution Review that a courtesy call to the Right Honorable Speaker by some participants of the International Legislative Dialogue on Women and Constitutional Amendment in Nigeria, which took place yesterday at Transcorp Hilton, will hold today, 29th of October 2024. The time is 3 p.m. and the venue is room 414, Speaker's Meeting Room.
On Order 12, Rule 15. Order 12, Rule 15. With your kind permission, Mr. Speaker, I would like to read.
Please read.
More than one bill on the same subject matter may be introduced, but when the second reading of a bill has been agreed to or negatived, the question shall not be proposed for the second reading of another bill of the same subject matter during the same session. On the order of the day relating to such a bill being read, the Speaker shall direct that the bill be withdrawn. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, last week, precisely on the 23rd of October 2024, the ninth order of the day was the bill that shares the same subject matter with the bill in question.
Which bill in question?
The bill you just read, which is the...
But you would have allowed me to finish reading the bill. I've not even finished reading the bill.
It's on the other paper, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, but allow me to finish it because the owner of the bill has stepped it down. Our procedure is that you finish it and you say by order of the House, the bill has been stepped down, not midway. Thank you. The noble honorable members studied the bill and have adequate information for debate. The invitation to Honorable Abiante to lead the debate on this bill has been dropped by him. He approached the chair that he will not be around to take this bill, that he wished to step down the bill. So this bill is stepped down by order of the House.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. You are to withdraw that bill.
He does not have the power to step down his bill.
No, he does not have the power to step down this bill, because stepping down the bill means the bill is not dead. It simply means he will take it again. But what the rules of the House says that the bill will be completely withdrawn and never to be presented again.
Well, he has approached the chair to step down his bill. We have stepped down his bill. If he presents it again tomorrow and is in the House and you want to debate whether or not he has a right to withdraw the bill that he proposed, I think the first right of refusal or right of refusal will be given to him to debate it with you. Now in his absence, I don't think it will be fair to debate in his absence. You are ruled out of order.
To establish the Armed Forces Farms and Ranches Scheme to enhance food security, promote economic diversification, and for related matters should be read a second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank
The concept of establishing an armed forces, farms and ranches will no doubt open a new frontier for the armed forces of Nigeria to contribute meaningfully to the nation's food security, leveraging on non-active and active members of the armed forces and expertise from their personnel. The initiative, if well harnessed, would add to the nation's GDP in agriculture. The military, consisting of 3 services, Army, Navy, Air Force, will provide the expertise required to carry out any national engagement seamlessly. These services also have a relative advantage from the land resources and teeming number of retired and ever willing, not tired members to involve in the agro ventures within their geopolitical environment. The nation's diversity in different ecological zones can also afford the opportunity for personnel to engage in profitable agriculture. This spans from the growth of cereal and root crops, animal husbandry, and its related activities in the savanna grassland in the north, to permanent and perennial crops within the forest and mangrove swamp in the southern region. Mr. Speaker, this bill is essential because in developing countries and developed countries such as the USA, Israel, China, Egypt, Zimbabwe, their military participates fully in ensuring food security. I do not think Nigeria should be an exception. Mr. President, in his wisdom, signed an executive order about 9 months ago that mandated the implementation and importation of 2,000 tractors from John Deere to be manufactured and assembled in Nigeria. It should be right for the armed forces to also tap into this and get into joint ventures with states within their barracks and outside of their barracks. We also know that the armed forces requirements for land, let's say they need 1,000 hectares of land. They always acquire more than that, 3,000. So the excess can also be utilized for the production of food and its ancillary services. So, Mr. Speaker, I urge and pray that my honorable colleagues look at this bill critically and ensure same is passed for second reading. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. I think it's a straightforward.
I represent everyone in the most peaceful constituency in Nigeria, Motion 2 Federal Constituency. I'm from Lagos State. I rise today to move that a bill to amend the Banks and Other Financial Institution Act, BOFIA 2020, to make provision for the protection of victims of fraudulent withdrawal from accounts and for related matters be read second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
I represent the good people of Motion 1 Federal Constituency in Lagos. Mr. Speaker and my dear colleague, I rise to second the second reading of the bill just read by Honorable Fayeka. Mr. Speaker, I so second. Thank you.
What is the part of this?
Good afternoon. This is a bill for her to amend banking and other financial institution, another related matter. The background, my dear colleagues, the Banking and Other Financial Institution BOFIA Act was last amended and assented to by the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2020. There is an alarming rise of bank fraud or unauthorized withdrawal of deposit funds in Nigeria. In the banking industry, about 101,801 cases was reported in 2022 and 48,703 cases reported in 2023. Very more of it were never reported, making bank customers lose several billions of naira. This bill is in consideration to the uprising of various financial crimes within the country, with many of such passing through financial institutions, or we can call it commercial banking system. Dear honorable colleagues, we all know that virtually all banking transactions are done electronically, which means that transactions can either be ATM, POS, direct cash transfer. In essence, what this bill is meant to address is, let me give a brief example. My very self is a customer of Bank A, and my money has been removed unconstitutionally without my authorization. Upon noticing of this, I went straight to my Bank A to report. My Bank A confirmed that XYZ amount of money has been removed from my account. I requested from my banker to let me know who did that withdrawal. Unfortunately, my bank told me they could not tell me the identity, that I should go to police station. I rushed down to police station. Police station, after passing the normal hurdle, I was given the statement to fill. After filling the statement, I took it to my Bank A. My Bank A told me again I needed to go to magistrate to bring an affidavit or to bring order so that they could release the identity of the fraudster to me. Upon further conversation with them, they told me the only thing that could save me and other victims was to go and legalize the exposure or disclosure of the fraudster. So that is why I've come to this Hallowed Chamber today to save everybody, including but not limited to members here that might have false.
Thank you.
So that is the objective.
Thank you.
Of the bill.
Well laid.
Honorable, for bringing this very important and critical bill for an amendment. Sir, in advanced countries of the world, whenever your money is being taken without your consent, maybe as a result of fraud or anything related to it, on the reporting to the bank, is there in the law that the bank is going to pay you your money immediately, and is the responsibility of the bank to follow up who is the fraudster and recover their own money. If at the end of the day they fail to recover the money, that particular customer is not liable. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, this is a very important bill to Nigerians, particularly now that we have an online banking system dominating the financial institutions. Almost on daily basis, we used to neglect it or ignore it because it's a negligible amount. Even today, I can confirm to you in this chamber, some people saw an alert that they did not know exactly how it emanated. 5 naira, 10 naira, 20 naira. Sometimes you ignore it, it's nothing. But I want you to calculate by the time it's done to 20 million people, is 20 million naira times 5, how much is it? So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is a very important bill that all members should be on the same deck to save Nigerians, particularly the vulnerable ones.
All of us are vulnerable.
Very good. So because if we cannot legislate and make it in such a way that banks will be liable for any fraud in your account, immediately they will remit or refund you immediately, and they follow where the money is taken from your account. That is the most important thing we should insert in this bill.
So that we can allow others to say.
Speaker, as you rightly said, we are all victims of this, and only extreme fines, as stated by Honorable Jaha, will put the commercial banks who make a lot of profit in line. The burden should not be on the Nigerian consumer, regardless of his status. It should be on the bank. I believe NDIC insures deposits. So we have to legislate and amend the Bofia Act. I had the pleasure of working on the Act as a legislative aide in the last Senate, sir, and I can tell you there's a lot of improvement that is needed. So I agree with the mover of this amendment, and I certainly hope we all support it collectively. I personally raised the issue with the governor of the central bank, demanding for steeper fines, sir. If one bank is punished very well, they'll all wake up for this, especially during these trying times. We must be the house that protects the average consumer during these economic times. I commend the mover of this amendment. It's excellent work. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. I want to hear
Tesuaju, Kajola, and Iwajo, federal constituency. I may suggest that we could include what we call a push payment scam, wherein even when you make a payment to somebody that you are not actually meant to pay. Take for instance, I'm meant to pay my colleague here, and unfortunately I made a mistake in putting the account number, and I made a payment to another person. The bank should be responsible for refunding that money, because most customers still have challenges in having their money back in this, and it's called a push payment scam. So this one could be included, not only unauthorized deduction, it should include a wrong payment to different voter. It even happens to me 2 days ago. I made a payment to another person, and today the bank has refused to actually pay me back the money, and I can't even locate the person. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Federal constituency, Mr. Speaker, I'm from Plateau State. This is very important indeed. I'm just lending a voice and doing a quick addendum on this. We have been all victimized by this. I've been victimized a couple of times, like my fellow colleague just said here. Make a payment to people and then it's the wrong payment. You get to the bank trying to retrieve the money back. They will tell you clearly to go on doing investigation yourself, subjecting Nigerians to undue costs. You spend a little more than even what is being taken from you in trying to investigate and get the person back. I believe this will be the responsibility of the bank or the financial institution. In the first place, they're supposed to have put in good securities that wouldn't have happened. I want to lend my voice in that regards, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We'll be ready second time. Say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. It is important to know that as we refer this bill to the appropriate committee, they have a lot of work to do to incorporate some of these issues that have been raised in the course of this debate. Please, clerk, read the long title. Banking regulation, banking and other ancillary institutions. The ninth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center, Orile, Lagos State, and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Lanre Okulola, members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 26th July 2023. And I invite Honorable Okulola to move that the bill be now read.
An act to amend the Federal Medical Center and establish Federal Medical Center, Orile, Lagos State, and for related matters be read the second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to that? Honorable.
Very distinguished colleagues, I am Honorable Chike John Okafo, PhD. I represent the good people of Ihimembano, Ihituboma, Obo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Imo State, and I rise to second the motion ably moved by my brother, Lanre Okulola, that this bill should be read a second time. Mr. Speaker, I so second.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleague, my name is Architect Lanre Okulola. I represent the wonderful people of Surulere 2 Federal Constituency. I'm from Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, the link between national progress and citizens' health is undeniable. From the thriving workforce of a productive society, healthy people are the cornerstones of nation's success. This understanding is entrenched in the fabrics of Nigeria's 1999 Constitution that governs to actively ensure the adequate medical and health facilities for all of us in person. Mr. Speaker, the limitation of primary health care centers are undeniable. With the growing population, especially in Lagos State and in Orile, the need for federal medical center will be a critical lifeline addressing the gap in a comprehensive and a strategic manner. Mr. Speaker, Orile is a very vibrant, vulnerable heart of Lagos, facing critical health deficits. Each day, residents, including countless accident victims, risk delayed and inadequate care due to the limitations of primary and secondary facilities. Tragically, serious auto accidents occur in Orile when emergency strikes. Every second counts. Yet, the current system forces victims to go on a long distance, often in a very desperate measures. Lives are being lost due to lack of immediate specialist intervention. Mr. Speaker, the Federal Medical Center of Lagos State is not just a legislative proposal, it's a lifeline. It represents not only a medical facility, but a beacon of hope for my constituents. The Federal Medical Center would only bridge the gap in our local health system. It will offer a robust and effective healthcare system, not just for Surulere, but for Lagos State and in general. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. My respected and honorable colleagues, this motion is on a need to electrify all host communities of the Kashimila multipurpose dam and environs. The House notes that the federal government has completed the hydroelectricity component of the Kashimila multipurpose dam in Taraba State. Also note that the 40 megawatts hydro dam commenced evacuation of energy into the national grid since the year 2019. Concerned that despite feeding the national grid with electricity, host communities of Kashimila multipurpose dam remain in total darkness as they are yet to be connected to the grid. Aware that the host communities include Bibi, Bauru, Birama, Malumshe, Kashimila, Bete, Lufujo, Barikilisa, Shibo, all in Takum local government of Taraba State. Also aware that the host communities need to be provided with electricity to give them a sense of belonging and ownership of the national asset and thereby guarantee its protection. House therefore resolved to mandate the Ministry of Power and Rural Electrification Agency to make adequate budgetary provision in the 2025 appropriation to ensure electrification of these host communities. 2, mandate the Committees on Power and Rural Electrification Agency to ensure compliance. I humbly move, Mr. Speaker.
Amendment is to make amendments to add a prayer to this motion. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to add the prayer to urge the Transmission Company of Nigeria and the distribution companies to extend power from the Kashim Bila Dam to host communities and neighboring communities of Benue State to be supplied light from the Kashimbila power station. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The effect of it, when it happens, extend up to Bakassi. I will urge that this prayer of motion be extended to Bakassi along the line of that belt, so that they all benefit, because they suffer the consequences when it comes to the consequences. So in terms of benefit, all of us should benefit, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I to this motion. Any second now? Yeah, communicator.
Federal constituency. I'm from the confluence and the first state, oil producing state in northern Nigeria, Kogi State. I rise to move the motion on the need to review the implementation of the integrated financial management system, GIVMIS, and e-procurement in the office of the Accountant General of the Federation. The House notes that the Government Integrated Financial Management Information System, GIVMIS, and e-procurement was initiated by the Federal Government of Nigeria and specifically approved by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and National Assembly to streamline public procurement, improve financial management, transparency, and accountability, to curb corruption in ministries, departments, and agencies of government. The House notes also that there have been inefficiencies in the implementation of this policy in relation to the payment of contractors and the functionality of the procurement system. Aware that over 1,500 agencies rely on a few individuals who approve payments to those meant to be paid, a process that is poorly managed to meet the volume of transactions required by those who have attained retirement age and do not have knowledge of technological skills to operate the system. The House also knows aware that each of these agencies oversees and supervises 1,000 projects that requires payment upon completion, thereby creating bureaucratic bottleneck in the payment process. Informed that the contractors who have executed and completed their projects in 2023 and 2024 are yet to be paid for the jobs, a violation of the Public Procurement Act, which stipulates that every project executed be paid within 30 days or 5% interest be charged for every month. The House concerned that the inefficiencies and non-compliance in the payment of contractors by MDAs and the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation for executed projects has hindered the ability to commence new projects and has stalled ongoing projects in the country due to financial handicap by the contractors. Worried that the non-compliance with the Public Procurement Act for not paying contractors as at when due will further aggravate and impact negatively on businesses for those operating small and medium-scale enterprises that rely on prompt payments to grow their businesses. Also worried that the non-compliance of the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation and MDAs in the payment of contractors for executed federal government intervention projects in the country has left contractors struggling to fulfill their financial obligations to workers, bankers, and suppliers. Also worried that the non-compliance of the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation and MDAs in the payment of contractors for executed federal government, sorry, I've taken that paragraph. Further worried that the negligence and inefficiency.
Can you go to your prayer since it's already published?
Resolves, Mr. Speaker, 1. Urge the federal government to review the implementation of GIVMIS and in procurement system in order to address the non-compliance by the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation with respect to payment of contractors for executed capital projects, and 2. Mandate the committees on public procurement, finance and appropriation to investigate the inefficiencies and non-compliance in the payment of contractors by MDAs and the office of the Accountant General of the Federation and report within 4 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The motion is referred to Committee on Public Procurement, Finance and Appropriation. The 12th order of the day is a motion.
Serangwa South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am Anungbaman from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues, I wish to make further consultations on this bill, on this motion. I hereby beg to step it down. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ginger.